Greetings tankers, my name is Adam Snellgrove and welcome to Best Replays, the only show in World of Tanks Multiverse in which you could win grand prizes by simply submitting your replays even from another multiverse. So quickly, hit that like button before we mess up the space-time continuum! Phew, that was a wild ride. But we are back on Berlin with a... What the heck is this tank? We actually have this thing in our game? Well, our producer is reassuring me right now that such a Franken tank does indeed exist and is being driven right now by Nikola 5. Combining an M4A2 hull with a T-34 turret and an 85mm gun, all that on a Tier 5 tank. A surprisingly powerful piece of armament for such a low-tier tank, so maybe this design wasn't doomed from the start. Until Wargaming gave it 0.44 accuracy and worse aim time than most derp guns. Yeah, let's just get back into the game in which Nikola 5 dominates the southern flank. While the same can't be said for the rest of the friendly tanks, most of which are already in queue for the next battle. Seeing enemies like these, one has to wonder how bad were those friendlies? And despite all of its drawbacks, this 85mm gun sure does pack a punch. Allowing Nikola 5 to outtrade their enemies shot for shot. Especially when their shell of choice on a smaller caliber gun is HE. Yeah. As this Panzer III probably should have replayed the tutorial a couple of more times. And now with the map open, what better to do than to take the OPest position on the map? The mighty Berlin Bunker. A play to which the enemies don't seem to have an answer. Well, definitely no answer now as Nikola 5 rounds the corner into Armada to win the game with HP to spare. GG. What an unusual opening game in an unusual tank we've had a privilege to watch. Nikola 5 dealt 2,945 damage, along with 8 kills to score 1,733 base experience in a Tier 5 tank. And before someone starts a riot in the comment section because low tiers don't count, we value all your replays equally, regardless of the tier. Which is why Nikola 5 gets 2,000 gold, our best replay style, and 3rd place on our list. Congratulations! And up next, we've got a Škoda T56 premium heavy tank and Sneeps, who finds themselves in a bottom-tier game. Oof. Can't say I'm overly thrilled with that play. But with enemies like these... Lucky! That HE shell from a Caliban could have been the end for our hero. Yeah, maybe reverse side scraping was not the best of ideas in this case. And now we resume with your regularly scheduled Cliff 1-2 line Fiesta. Realizing the futility of such an engagement, Sneeps finally opts to change flanks. Which at this point in the game might no longer be possible. So just like an arty player at a diving convention, you've got to go with the flow. Bolstered by their success elsewhere on the map, the enemies seem to be more keen on coming out to play. It's over, Green Team. We've got the high ground. Not so fast. An expertly timed flanking maneuver from our hero, dispatching two extremely dangerous tanks with ease. Make that 3 kills in quick succession to turn what seemed to be a lost cause to a possible carry. Ooh, but there's no time to reload as the rival Škoda T50 is about to rush our tortoise friend. Oh, seems like both these tanks are now on reload. Awkward. Phew! Swapping the fire extinguisher with the food consumable comes in clutch as Sneeps is the first one to pull the trigger and destroy the enemy. That was certainly not ideal. Sneeps tries once again to open the distance. But wait! There's a T-44 right behind us! What a clutch shot! What? No way! What an absolute shame. The T-44 has distracted Sneeps just long enough for the 777 to get a shot in and together with an engine fire end the dreams of our hero. What a heartbreak. Such a hard-fought game by Sneeps as a bottom-tier tank that came so close to an upset and a victory. But Lady Luck was not on our side. Despite 7,044 damage and 8 kills, Sneeps will have to settle for a defeat. An injustice which we'll try to rectify with 2,500 gold and our style, as this replay takes our runner-up spot. Well done! And for the finale, we've got that tank. Yes, indeed, it is the destroyer of hopes and dreams, the source of tears and memes, the reason why the comment section screams, yes, we indeed have a chieftain. With the proud owner of this funky-looking beast being Kunik, who's without a doubt heading to one of the strongest positions of Fjords, the J5 hull-down spot. And if you thought that after all these years the enemies would learn about it, well, you thought wrong. Ooh, not just content at sitting hull down, are we? Ooh, that might be a little bit more than Kunik bargained for. Just kidding. The bait and retreat works out perfectly as the enemies are now once again engaging our hero in a hull down spot. With Kunik being allowed to farm all the damage almost freely. Well, that was definitely not the play by the Jagdpanzer right there. Yep, and that was 8,300 damage and 3 kills in just 3 minutes. Make that 4 kills, thanks to this particular arty sitting on top of a hill with no cover. Yet, despite all that, the green team still managed to end up 5 tanks and 2,000 HP behind. The RNG really does work in mysterious ways. Unfazed by such trivial matters, Kunik ups their tally to 10,000 damage, with the enemies only offering token resistance. Even bouncing a heat shell from a Grill 15, just for good measure. But one point of concern might be that we're down to only 7 shells in total. Which could prove tricky now that the final ally has been destroyed and Kunik is surrounded on both sides. Oh, this is getting intense! Whoa, Kunik is down to just a one-shot. Oh, the second to last APCR shell sets the Patriot ablaze. Blessed by RNGesus. And the kill on the Liberté means it's just one arty left. Look at that, even being cheeky with that final HE shell. What confidence. I just hope that does not translate into some overconfidence. What am I saying? Like there was any doubt how this one was about to end. GG. What an absolute monstrous game by Kunik in the Chieftain. Say what you wish about the tank, but this was an expertly played game that deserved a victory. Acclaim backed by all these medals, Kolobanovs, Pools, Fadins, and Pascucci's. Alongside 13,131 damage, whoop whoop, 10 kills and 1,829 base experience as a tier 10 tank. I mean, what else is there to say? But Kunik, take our style, 3,000 gold and the title of Best Replay. Congratulations! And that would be all, my dear tankers. That spicy replay brings us to the end of another week and another episode. But I'm sure the spice will continue down in the comments below. So this time we're asking you, what is your least favorite tank to face on the battlefield? And why is it the Chieftain? We can't wait to hear your answers. As we can't wait to watch more of your awesome replays. Do send them in either through Discord or on What Replays. And that's it. What more is there left to say but I'm Adam Snowgrove and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!